So I'm going to switch over now to the application, relog in. But what we're looking at is the web application. I'm logged in as a master user. If you remember, I mentioned that there were 3 URLs, admin, plant, and supplier. So as a master user throughout this demo, I'm going to be jumping between these 3 different parts of the application. And I'll try to let you know when I change and I'm playing a different role so you can kind of keep track. So I'm going into the admin interface, and this is where we manage most of the master data. So this is where we define what type of tests we need to have associated with a material that we're expecting our suppliers to respond to. What you'll notice also as I navigate, most all of these upper navigation bars are the same on a client by or interface by interface basis. So one of the things that we're going to be looking at, I'll look at Big White. So part of this demo is talking about making bread. And I'm going to be looking for the specification for this Big White bread. And this is where we define kind of what the material is, what it's called, what tests are required, which suppliers are involved. We've got the global trade numbers, the material codes, the description. But the key piece here is what tests are we expecting to collect data on? Fat content, proteins, where we've got parameters less than 10 for this is parts per million for lead. We've got the microbiological, the physical tests. So these are things that we can set up as required or optional type tests for suppliers as well as your in-process manufacturing. So it's not just what the suppliers have to test, it's what's being done internally. There's things like characteristics, texture, flavor, appearance, where we can capture subjective analysis. We can keep track of what the ingredients are. Now, granted, this is a spec for a loaf of bread. The previous step in the process is packaging. And when we start looking at traceability, you'll get a better understanding of how we relate these ingredients together. I've got a place for reference documents, as well as the source of supply. So which suppliers, which finished product plants are involved in making these products, as well as something like spec approval, where I've got my vendors who approve modifications to those specs. So this is really the beginning of the whole application, which is defining what are we tracking, what are the parameters associated with it. I'm going to leave this admin area and I'm going to go be a supplier.